Hi, my name is Keri Renault, and as he said, I am the baby of the family. Mom asked me a few days ago if I would get up and say a little bit, and I'm like, you're kidding, you want me to get up and talk in front of all these people? So here's my attempt. It all started when Bess Emily decided that 2 kids weren't enough. Her health was not very good at the time, but she wanted another child. Word was put out that they would like to adopt, and they had offers of other children, but she held out for a little baby girl. Here's where I come into the picture. I arrived in July 1968. She was notified, and I was home with them within a couple of days. They have been my family ever since, and I never felt like I was not totally theirs. We didn't have a lot of money growing up, but we always had what we needed. Mom was always sewing something for me, and most of the time she didn't even have a pattern. I would just tell her, hey, I like this dress, and she would try to copy it. Growing up, I always wanted to spend the night at my friends' houses because they lived in town. And they always wanted to spend the night at my house because I lived on a farm. Needless to say, when I got married, I moved to the city, and I hated it. I am now happy to say that I live on a farm again, and my love of animals was inherited from my parents, and today it is evident by the 22 furry critters running around my house. My husband has a nickname for me. It is Ellie Mae Clampett. I'm quite a bit younger than Nathan and Lana, so it looked like I was an only child growing up. It would have been, except for the fact that my dad can act a lot like a child. He was my playmate. We did all kinds of things, my favorite being hide and go seek. Usually, which happened right before bedtime. I would get all hyper, wouldn't go to bed, and I bet there's a lot of you mothers out there that know exactly what I'm talking about. Other mischiefs were, we would always get into a water fight while filling the cattle troughs, and it didn't matter if it was summer or winter, we got into water fights. And the worst prank that we ever did was, we lived on the highway, and we would lay in the ditch, the bar ditch, and we would throw firecrackers under the passing cars. So they would slam on their brakes and think that they had a blowout. And he would sit there just chuckling. Actually, I think Dad got in more trouble with me growing up than I did because he was the one that thought of all of it. In my family, you learned how to shoot, you learned how to hunt, you learned how to ride a horse, and you tended to farm animals. We had every animal you could think of at some time or another. We were expected to excel in school, and Mom always knew what was going on because she was a rude mother. And besides being at school with me, she drove my school bus. And I had to sit in the seat behind her so she knew what I was doing, except when we had a substitute, and I'm not going to say anything on that matter. We learned about life and how to live it fully. As a child growing up, I was taught right from wrong. Mom read to me from the Bible every night unless we went to church. And back then, we went to church a lot. And the only way you could stay home from church was if you were dying. And if you said you were, you stayed in bed, no TV. What I learned growing up prepared me for marriage and then motherhood. In this day and age that we live in, society does not have any morals. We were taught right from wrong. And now I am trying to pass that knowledge on to my children. Looking back 10 years ago, almost 11, I met my natural family. It shocked me. I grew up in a very sheltered home, and I truly can say and I am thankful that I was adopted. I would not have the wonderful things that I have today, the wonderful family, all of the things, and most importantly, my Christian heritage. Thank you for your love, your attention, and your dedication to me, and now to my children. Thanks.
Thank you, Keri. You know, Lana,
I just need to sit down. What do I say now? I'll just add a little bit to it. I have some memories that started before hers.